Oh, you're gonna fall. Everyone's gonna fall over. We'll have broken legs.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yellowwood.
Yellowwood. I'm looking at Rhonda.
What are you chewing gum, dude? Okay. I'll send it up to the
Hi.
I love gum.
I need you for Deb.
Okay.
All right, Christian.
You hear me okay? Okay. Welcome. Who's excited? So I'm incredibly excited. My name is Jed. I'm the executive director of Yellowwood Academy. This is my 12th year at a graduation like this, and it's always my favorite, most of the time, my very favorite day of the year. And one of the reasons is because we have a very unique and special type of graduation. For one thing, if you've been to graduation, ours is like a quarter of the length, so that's pretty good. But the other thing that I especially appreciate, we've always done this since I've been in school, is we have each graduate choose somebody to say the few words about them. So it's very personal, oftentimes funny, especially Christian Bennett's going to do a speech. And it just feels very Yellowwood, so it's very special to me. So I don't want to say too much. I'm actually speaking of Kirsten Bennett. She is our first speaker for our first graduate tonight, but she also has a few words she'd like to share with you. So, Kirsten.
Actually, just sent Joe Before we start individual remarks, I have a very important thing to say to a very special guest, a group of guests tonight. In fact, I'd like the graduates to follow this. I'd like them to turn to your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, village people, returning people, just say thanks to them. And then as we make our way through this evening, think about maybe specific ways that you're thankful for these people. And before we start, I would like to say, on behalf of all the teachers and staff members of Yellowwood, thank you so much for trusting us and for inviting us to be part of the greatest adventures of your lives. Okay. That's enough nonsense. Skylar. You were already a Yellowwood celebrity when I arrived at school. So the first thing I'd like to say is that it's an honor to stand up here and speak for you today as we congratulate you on your achievement. I know that someone like you had other options. The second thing I'd like to say is a complaint. And that is, you've done this before. You were leaving and you went away and we had to say goodbye to you, and it was very sad. And as happy as I am to have been part of your miraculous return, it's kind of a bummer to be back in a goodbye seat. Just saying. Seriously, I'm very grateful to have been your teacher the first time, and I'm very grateful to have been your teacher this time. And just because this is my last chance, I'd like to launch you out into the world with a few ideas that you've heard from me before, but I'm going to say them one last time. I promise these things are true and can be trusted. Which is a fancy way to say that I'm going to take this opportunity to get the last word. Number 1, first drafts are supposed to be imperfect. Don't apologize for them. Don't feel shame about them. You can find gold in any feedback. Our imperfections, actually, when you get down to it, are all endless acts. Number 2, while comfortability might sound like a word, and while it's sometimes treated like a real word by some people, it isn't, and it doesn't deserve to be a word. Number 3, always remember that oranges are not the only fruit. Congratulations, sir.
graduate is True Program, and speaking for True is going to be True's father, Ethan.
Hi everybody, I'm Ethan, I'm True's dad. I'm here today with my lovely wife and True's mother, Corey, my daughter Carson, Auntie Amber, and grandmother Lee. When Corey and I decided to have kids all those years ago, I remember just Ethan sitting on the couch in a small living room at the time, looking at names and the meaning of names, and then describing in one word some of the attributes and characteristics that we wanted our kids to have. Our daughter's name is Carson, which we really like. We still really like it. But it means son of the marsh dwellers. So we decided that maybe the meaning of names weren't all that important. But as for True, a name we also still really like, his name, maybe a little more obviously, means real and genuine, which he certainly is. As for the attributes and characteristics that came to mind, on my short list were words like perseverance, persistence, overcomer, and stick-to-itiveness, right? All those kinds of things. Little did we know that True would need these attributes so early in life. At around 2 years old, we found out that True had significant allergies, especially nuts. And it took us about 8 years or more to fully understand that his issues were not just allergies, but a chronic and rather severe case of a disease called eosinophilic esophagitis. So needless to say, this made life for True pretty miserable at times, and sometimes for extended periods. And I know there were times he felt like giving up, I'm sure of it. And to get through the difficult years, he had to persevere, he had to persist, and had to have truckloads of stick-to-itiveness. And I know now that he can do difficult things. And more importantly, I know that he knows he can do difficult things. And if I can give any advice to other graduates today, it would be to be true to yourself and never give up on what it is you want your life to be. And as for True, we are so immensely proud of you on this graduation day. I'm proud of your strength of character, your kindness of heart, and the young man you've become. We love you.
Hello everyone. Is this better? That's better, okay. My name is Ben Legis. I'm about to cry. I'm Sophia's math tutor, and I was her math tutor for several years. I just want to say what a profound honor it is to be here today. I don't have children of my own, but every day, parents all over Seattle, all over the east side, trust me with their kids. And I just am amazed at what a profound honor that is. And so as I stand here as a math tutor, right, I may know more math than anyone in this room. There's a possibility. And if any of the teachers at Yellowwood Academy want to throw down afterwards, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm happy that something I know is useful. But what I care about more than anything is the spirits of these young people. And when I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, and I don't know if you know, the word mentor is actually the name of a character from the Odyssey, the story of the Odyssey. And it was it was said that he was put in charge of taking care of a young person who he was older and more experienced, and he didn't know what to do. He was at a loss for how to help this young person. But in the story, in the Odyssey, it is said that the spirit of Athena, of wisdom and honor, stepped into him and did the teaching for him. So, as I stand here addressing Safia, her parents, her family, all the graduates, right, all of you, it is an honor to not just be Safia's math tutor, Safia a mentor in helping unfold the ways that her mind works best and that she can become her own most powerful self. But I stand here with all the parents, all the grandparents, everyone who is in the life of a young person. And I just want to take a moment to stress the importance of not just blessing these young people to walk forward as a member of their community, as a representation of their family, their parents, and their brothers and their sisters, but as their own unique thing. So, Safia, right now, I bless you to be in full representation of your family, of your grandparents, of your countries of origin, all of those wonderful things, but also your own unique style of person, free of all the expectations that our weird culture puts on young people, puts on young women, free to be your own expression of the own person you were destined to be, and all these other young people, in the spirit of that mentorship, right? In that spirit, I bless you all to be your own unique weirdo. And to all the adults, right, all the people who are standing here with these young people, I want to acknowledge that the great journey you've been in through these young people, and that it doesn't stop. The world, new kids are born every day, all over the planet, and we're not going to run out of the need to look young people in the eye and bless them and tell them, you deserve to be here. You're awesome. I'm confident of you. I'm proud of you. So thank you, teachers of Yellowwood Academy. Thank you all of the parents. Thank you to all the grandparents and friends and relatives. And to the young people, I honor your own unique way of being, and I bless you here to walk forward as a representation of your family, but also as your own personal, unique weirdo, as your own personal, unique genius. So, thank you. Thank you so much. Our next graduates is Christian and her son. And that's what I'm just going to say a few words.
I'm not so good at the public speaking thing, so.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacqueline O'Malley. I teach math, science, and design thinking at Yellowwood. And I've had the pleasure of working with Christian basically from day one when I joined the school last spring. One of my first tasks was just to wrap up his math class. It was in the middle of the semester. And I was pretty nervous. I wasn't sure how to build a rapport with my new students, and like, from his point of view, who wants to finish learning algebra from some rando they just hired? And I was pleasantly surprised. Christian pretty much immediately showed dedication to finishing the work, getting it done, and an infectious enthusiasm for all of his personal interests. We would chat about it in basically every class once his work was done, of course. We finished that last semester strong, and I considered it a huge success. This year, we again worked together, but this time around it was personal finance and geology. Something pretty different, pretty fun. Whether it was like oohing and ahhing over videos of cool volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, or talking about how to invest and save for retirement, Christian continued to bring that cheerful energy and just kept the content flowing. With every topic, we dove deeper into his interests to create memorable connections within the content. With each challenge, we reinforced his excellent ability to reason through problems with efficiency and logic. And every single day, I learned a little more about Star Wars, archaeological digs, and super cool dinosaur species that definitely didn't exist when I was a kid. If I've learned anything from my time with Christian, it's that everybody needs a balance of practical and enjoyable. Yes, things need to get done. Yes, sometimes they aren't the most fun. But Christian proved to me that with a little bit of perseverance and creativity, we can make it through just about any single problem that lies before us. All we need to do is remember to have fun where we can, and never forget to indulge the part of your brain that just wants to read about cool dinosaurs. Christian, I wish you the best of luck with everything after high school. You've absolutely earned this, and I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished in my classes and at Yellowwood. Keep up the confidence, keep being inquisitive, and never forget to compliment the mundane with the wonderful.
Okay, so our next graduate is Mr. Kieran Foss. And speaking for Kieran, I'd like to invite Roxy up.
I will do this. This is my moment to cry. When I met Kieran the first time, he wasn't my student yet. The world then changed, and it landed him in my Spanish class. He was always frank and curious, always enjoyed to teach. When I was told at the beginning of this year that Kieran was going to be my student, I was over the moon, asking everyone. The distance Kieran has gone from when I met him to where he is now is astronomical. No matter what he chooses to do moving forward, I feel secure that he will succeed. I have so many good memories with Kieran I could go into, but I would take far too long, and I would even need to graduate. Some of them he remembers that I don't, and some I remember when he doesn't. This year alone, I have so many. Like the fact that he would always come early to class. One time so early that my class wasn't even done. I had to look at him and go, shoot. Or we'd be discussing something and it would always evolve into a more in-depth conversation about the future, about experiences, and evolutions, which always left me more and more impressed with Kieran and who he had become. Kieran, there's so much more I wish I could have taught you. Where did our time go? We've talked a lot about what we believe the future holds. You've gotten a tool belt of knowledge and truth for whatever lies ahead. Keep seeking out the facts. Keep asking questions. Learn the truth before you choose to believe in it. Pick your battles wisely. Remember, you have support and people who will always care about you. No matter what you choose to do for your future, I know you will succeed because you create the world of laughter. I will miss you terribly, but what I think I miss the most is your laugh. Thank you, Kieran, for giving me the chance to be your teacher. Gracias mucho. You earned this.
So for this graduate event, I'd like to invite you up to give you your diploma. Congratulations, Ethan. Okay, our next graduate is Marty. And Rhonda will be coming up to say a few words about Marty.
I'm a little stiff from field day. I was taking pictures then too, but my knees are feeling it. Marty and I have worked together for 6 years. He was about this high when I met him, and he could fit into any cupboard in the school. And we often had to send out search parties for him. When I first met him, it was at a meet and greet, and I told him I was only part human, and he went for it. I had my DNA done and found out I was part Neanderthal like everybody else. So what I want you to know is what everybody knows about Marty is he is close to a technical genius. He doesn't want me to say that. But during lockdown, he built his own desktop computer. Now, he didn't want me to say built because he didn't make all the parts. But I have trouble putting together IKEA furniture, so I figured that he built it. He also made a game server. It couldn't stay in his room because it got so hot. And the other thing that we would do during lockdown is we had guests in our sessions, Scarlett and Peggy, his chickens, and Scarlett often would read along on the book. I have a picture. The other thing Marty is well known for is his passion for public transit. And he's had a couple of advocacy projects. When he was in the 7th grade, he wrote a proposal. Actually, it was a petition and put it up on change.org about extending the 522 Sound Transit route. He also wrote Sound Transit. We had to pull back some of his verbiage. He's very passionate about that. Right now, he is advocating with community transit because they're cutting some of their routes from Northgate to downtown because of the new light rail, and he doesn't think that's fair. I tend to agree with him on things like this. The thing that people don't know about him is Marty loves to read. He just dives into a book. It's a beautiful thing to see. And when given the opportunity to think it through, he'll stop for a moment, he won't look, he'll kind of come to the side and make a profound pronouncement about what the book is about. And I'm, oh, thank you for that. And I don't think he even realizes how profound they are. He's into photography. His style is
sort of industrial, but it's very interesting because he uses artificial light very well, oftentimes reflecting off of metal surfaces. And it kind of reminds me of, I've got to look at my notes, I'm sorry. It kind of reminds me of Edward Hopper's Nighthawk painting, you know, the one in the cafe looking in. And oftentimes it kind of has that flavor, but I really enjoy his photography. I hope Marty doesn't get locked into the technical world too much, and I hope he remembers the wonderful things he can do. And you go, Marty.
Okay, our next graduate is Marcus Ward, and speaking for Marcus is Alex Beck. So Alex, come on.
Like so many other people, I have a little piece of paper to read off of, because as Marcus and my other students know, I have a tendency to bow if I'm not reading a piece of paper, so it helps a big deal. So, students aren't often willing to admit that they like learning. After 12 years of school, it can get a little bit monotonous, but often there's a subject that can interest a student, and it just pulls on all the strings that interest them. Everything in their life that they see is what really holds them together. And I think for Marcus, that has been Spanish, among other things. Marcus was a great student because he wanted to challenge his teachers. That's something I noticed very keenly. I remember once when I was teaching Marcus, we had a huge world map that sits on the wall of the school. And I went up to the map to tell him about some dinky little thing in some dinky little country somewhere in the world. And he pointed at the map, and he said, if I point at this map, anyone on the map, can you tell me something about it? And I said, maybe. And so he pointed, and I tried saying something, and pointed, and I tried saying something. And that was a great little interaction to have, because it showed two motives of Marcus's. First was to just receive knowledge about the world. That's a good, important thing. And the second was to challenge me. And that's a great relationship to have with a student because it goes both ways. Yeah, they challenge you, and that means you're able to challenge them back. Marcus is intently interested in both language and culture. When talking about language, Marcus seeks to know in his bones why it is that word order occurs in a certain way, or why certain grammatical categories exist in whatever language. And it nears towards being a bit stubborn, but it's always great to talk with him about. And these aren't just questions of a student who wants an A on a test, but they're questions from someone who really wants to know something. And that's a great thing to be able to have with a student. As regards culture, Marcus wants to know how people think and how they ended up where they are. And he's not judgmental about it, which is a great thing to have in a student. He just simply wants to know more about people and the world that we live in. This natural inquisitiveness into how and why people think as they do is something that we can all strive for. The world's a big place, one that we all venture into every day, especially after graduation. And the differences that we find between people in the world don't need to be huge national differences between different cultures. It can be the simple differences that we have between coworkers, family, and friends. And training that capacity to be able to talk to people and understand them is so vitally important. Marcus, I think that you have that skill to be able to know how to talk with people, to know how to understand people, and accept them for wherever they're coming from. And it's a great capacity to be able to have that will serve you beyond Yellowwood. Continue to develop it and hold on to that into your future. The ability to understand is applicable wherever you might end up. Thank you.
our next graduate is Kai Marcovier. And we've already met Rhonda, and Rhonda's coming back up again to speak for Kai. So welcome, Rhonda.
Yes, I'm back. Ryan and I worked together for 7 years. He also was a little guy when I first met him, and he didn't want to talk to me. I was lucky he talked to me. But first class was social studies, and the whole year was about pirates. Every aspect of pirates. So when I had him for reading the next year, I remember telling him no pirates. But he was sneaky about it because he had a separate writing teacher and she went on maternity leave, so I got him for writing too. And he had this short story, and it was based upon a couple of paragraphs we had written about the existential pirate. So we started reading it. We go, I think that there's more to this. And little did I know, 5 years later, we would have a manuscript that's like a novel. But that's something that about everybody knows about Kai. Some other things that you probably don't know is he's an excellent cook. He took on Thanksgiving dinner. I didn't do that until I was in my 20s. And I didn't do it well. Also, he works with wood. And he didn't just work with wood, he designed and made his own desk. When he works with wood, he pays attention to the quality of the grain and how the light hits it. And I think that that's kind of the sign of a master craftsman. I really do. I saw pictures, he couldn't bring it into school because it's so quick, but I saw pictures and it's really excellent. The other thing is that he's very determined. He went out, he got a job, and stayed at it for 2 years, and he went from, the teenage kid to a shift lead. So he understood how the work world operates. He understood how to get to work, you need to get the job done. He was training people, he was managing people at a very young age. So I don't have any worries about him out in the world. He's looking at real estate, he's already doing informational interviews. I didn't even know what an informational interview was at his age. And he's working his connections, he's networking. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about you.
Okay, Stella, you're up. And we also get to invite Kirsten Bennett back to speak for Stella.
Stella Bean. Sorry about the confusion. Anyone who thought Bean was Stella's last name, that's just a thing I call her. Since I can't fit 6 years of all the things you've done to give me joy and make me proud into 2 minutes, I've chosen one theme. Here it is. One day in 7th grade I said to you, today we're going to read this story. It's called Barbie. And then, but you were shaking your head. So I said, what? And you explained, I don't like reading stories about Barbies. And I said, well, this is a story about a Barbie that gets their head that loses its. So you read the story and you liked it. You went home and I said, I'm amazing. This is going to be great. I can make Stella do anything. But here's what I meant. I were walking down the hall, the two of us next to each other, the way people in halls walk, and then Jed came the other way. And I said, "Hey, Jed," and took an eye off you for a second, and you tried to melt into the paint on the wall and disappeared. And a distance away. And I looked at you and I was like, what happened? I don't remember what you said, but you were real scared of Jed, even though all I said was like, hello, or something. And I thought, I can make Stella do things, so this is going to be easy and great. So for an embarrassingly long time, I tried to think of fun ways to make friends with Jed. What's going to tell Jed I'm not going to go? No. Let's go invite Jed to play soccer lessons. No. Let's go ask Jed for $100. He'll say no, but he'll be nice about it. No. He didn't like the funny ones. He liked the not funny suggestions better, but all of them horrified you, so I gave up. And then, years later, it's class time and you're not there, which never happens. Stella's never late. Okay, anyway, so I go looking for you. I go ask him around. I'm like, I haven't seen Stella. And someone goes, oh, Stella's in Jed's office. And I said, probably not. And they said, oh, I just saw Stella and they're talking to Jed. And I said, about what? And then I let the person go back to their job, and I'm sorry, because you had decided to do it, and you had a reason now, and it was easy, because you had a reason. And while I want you to practice gratitude for all the people who helped you get here today, I also need you reminded that you earned this. We didn't do anything for you. We didn't make you do it, because you wouldn't let us. You did all of it. And the next time, in your exciting, courageous life, that you find yourself facing the mountain and you wonder, am I do this? Can I make this happen? I want you to remember me saying to you now in the front row, you are full of surprises, and you are able to do things that feel impossible. And even if you don't feel ready, you are capable of making huge things happen. And if it helps, you can bring a headless Barbie.
Am I reading this correctly? Is Rhonda coming out again?
No, it's Roman. It's not a torture at all. And Roman's one of my short-timers, 5.5 years. And we've done a variety of classes, drama, which we determined was actually film. Leadership class, he wasn't thrilled with that one. Also, let me see, do you remember Norm Roman? We did. And we did college research and writing and ELA. And we combined all of those. The main thing was the film. And we started with DC and Marvel, which I suffered through. I tried to hide it, but he did make some very pertinent comments. We did some Monty Python, Butch Cassidy, Galaxy Quest, and Stargate. And we found this movie called The Son of Rambo. It's just a delightful little movie. We often referred to it. Hitchhiker's Guide, we did some Sherlock, we watched, I don't know if you know that PBS Annika mystery series, but she kind of breaks the fourth wall, so I wanted him to see that. When we saw this one PBS, it's a film of a play called Remember This, and it's about Jan Karski, the Polish resistant fighter and Holocaust witness. And it's really powerful. And Roman's probably the only student of mine who appreciated it. And he has such a fine understanding of the craft that he turned to me and says, did you see when he took off his coat and he put it on the back of the chair? It was like another character. And I go, I totally missed that. You know, that's amazing. Also, when we watched Good Night and Good Luck, with, you know, about Edward R. Murrow and his fight with McCarthy, and we paired it with The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury. But in watching the movie, he noticed that Della Reese, who does the singing and the standards in between, he says, you know, all of those songs relate back to the previous scene. Oh my God, this is amazing. And he makes very funny reviews. He analyzes every aspect of the film. I can't say enough about him. He's just delightful. And if you need a pet sitter, keep your eye out for him because he's great with animals. So, Roman, I miss you. Come back and visit. and we'll watch the movies together.
Our final graduate of the night is Hudson Wilson. And speaking for Hudson will be Kim Nesky. Come on, Kim.
You can hear the box up like Roxy did, right? I got rid of this. When Hudson asked me to do the graduation speech, it was hard for me to contain my enthusiasm. I don't think I did it. This is one I really wanted to deliver. I am joyed to have known Hudson for this long, as long as his journey has been here at Yellowwood. I remember when this graduating senior came to Yellowwood as an 8th grader, shy, confused, reading to hide from new people, yet strong and budding in confidence. He was a presence even then. In our English classes together, we read short stories, we read novels, we shared movie discussions, we got through a pandemic and 5 desk changes. We laughed and we cried. We enjoyed relationships and interactions with other students and teachers. We discussed vegan food and pastry lamination. Didn't know what that was until I talked to Hudson. Garfield and Pingu, Shakespeare and Dickens, Stevenson and Steinbeck. Comments from other teachers include the positive energy Hudson brings to class, how he will sit back and think and then express something incredibly thought-provoking and intelligent, that he is one of the most talented young writers we know, and he plays a mean game of Uno. A poignant moment to me that happened that Hudson doesn't even know about, but he will understand. During the first parent-teacher conference, back when those were held in person, this was just weeks after Hudson came to Yellowwood. His mom told me that poetry was not an option. Hudson had expressed something similar earlier that week. To both of those, one thought crossed my mind. Let's wait and see. And see we have. Most of you here know Hudson's creative writing, which is expanded to writing, yes, poetry. In fact, we read and wrote some just this morning. I guess it's the last time we'll do that. Speaking for your teachers, Hudson, we love you, we are proud of you, we are impressed and inspired by you. And because I cannot let this evening go by without bringing in a musical, I'm not going to sing, I promise. Maybe next time. To Hudson and all of you graduates, 6 rules for getting on in life by Firestein and Lauper. 1, pursue the truth. 2, learn something new. 3, accept yourself and accept others too. 4, let love shine. 5, let pride be your guide.
6, go out and change the world. Celebrate yourself triumphantly. Just be, just be, just be beautiful.
Okay. So, before we do the official thing and switch the tassel, I'd like to draw your attention to a book that was left on your seat, graduates, when you first walked in. Sorry it wasn't a car, we couldn't do the upper thing, we're not quite that flesh and flash. This is a big next here. This is a copy of, most of you know that the name Yellowwood Academy comes from Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. So, we got a book for each of you, signed by teachers that have worked with you, and we're so grateful that you chose us as part of your path that you did take. And we are here for you. After you launch, this book is a memory of Yellowwood and the good times you had here, and so we give that to you for a place of gratitude and hope looking forward to the future. And there's one, I just found one thing, this is so unexpected, but we have one more honorary graduate. This is all about our students tonight, but I do have to do one, I have to embarrass one person, I'm sorry. But Shannon Kennedy is here tonight. So it sounds like most of you know Shannon. Shannon has worked at Yellowwood for a long time. She recently moved and she took a job at another school, and we're all very sad that she left, but very happy for her. So Shannon has been the architect of this graduation for the past 10 years. She has done more for Yellowwood Academy than any single person, I'm pretty sure. And so I would like to present you, Shannon, not with a diploma, but I think that's already, you already have one of those. I'd like to present you with a copy of this book, signed by the Yellowwood Academy team, who love you very much. Okay, graduates, please stand up. Feel free to come up and take pictures and use this beautiful wooden arch. Oh, we got it, right? Thank you.